Evangeline of morning, shooting star across the night. The most beautiful girl I've seen in all my life. Every second spent with you, it's like a day that's brand new. Girl, I'm so amazed at all the things you do. Yes, I wanna build my whole world around you. So I promise you forever. Yeah. I hear music in the words and in the way you call my name. When you're by my side, I can't do anything. You're my best friend, you're my lover. Without you, no one else would do. Through thick and thin, I know we'll make it true. Yes, I wanna build my whole world around you. So I promise you forever and always. Girl, you are my sunshine, baby. I want me.
I think of what you too much, right? And the copy structure is such a way that it costs one.
My baby, you are my sunshine, my love and my essence. There's no one like you. My baby, you are my sunshine, my love and my essence. There's no one like you. You are me, all over me, already alive. I will love you forever. Oh, me, all over me, already alive. See, I will love you forever. My sugar, my honey, my lover, I will love you forever. My baby, my lover, and my best friend, I will love you forever. I place no woman above you, I will love you forever. I promise to always love you, baby, I will love you forever. And there's no one other girl to love, I will love you forevermore. Ever and ever and evermore, I will love you forever. Cause you are my baby, my sunshine. I will love you forever. And when there's nothing more to say, I will love you forever. Forever and ever and ever and ever. I will love you forever. All right. Good evening, everyone. It's a good way to start listening to Timinda Kolo singing for his wife. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Good evening, good evening, good evening. We are having another session today, and we are looking at protocol number 5. The protocol basically are just giving us tips that will guide us on our journey to having a successful relationship and marriage. Towards having a successful relationship and marriage. As usual, I try to get a particular story, basically just giving us an insight into some of the things happening in as much as some of those stories look weird, but these are reality of our society, what people are going through because of this decision. So I will play it again. This is a story.
Dear Tima, I write to you with so much bitterness in my heart. I will hit 30 very soon. I met my husband 6 years ago and introduced him to my mom. Everything was going on well until I got pregnant. Then my mom advised me to abort since the society will laugh at her as a single mother who couldn't raise a good child. So she told us, and we agreed, and I aborted the baby. Since my husband was not financially stable then, even though I was working, but along the way I got pregnant again. And this time around, we decided to keep it because we felt we were ready. But then again, my mother stood against it and even decided to end her life if I keep the baby. So I aborted that too, which my husband didn't hesitate. Now I told my man that before anything, we need to be serious and get married so we could settle. Since my husband was not financially stable then, baby, so settle. Tima, can you imagine that 4 years into the relationship, which was just last 2 years, my man landed a very juicy deal and his life turned around for good. So immediately he came to see my mom to officially announce to her his intentions for me, only for my mom to say he's an Ewe, so she won't agree. And Tima, I just didn't understand the whole scenario. I felt my mom was going crazy or something. So after 4 years with 2 abortions, this woman waited to tell us this. Tima, I loved my man so much that I was willing to do anything for him. Hey, so I stood against my mom's will and reported her to my uncles. And lo and behold, in 2019, April, we got married. Tima, can you believe my own mother came for the wedding, left before we could even say our vows? And at the reception, she was nowhere to be found. Tima, everyone was just shocked by her behavior. So I had no option than to ignore her actions. After the marriage, all was well until just 3 days ago. My husband had an awesome song he used to use way back. But because he got a new phone, he abandoned that one. And so I was doing a cleanup at home and chanced upon it. So I also needed a spare phone due to the nature of my work and decided to try if it could work. So I put it on charge for a while and boom, it came. I then put my new chip and set up the WhatsApp. And since there was already a WhatsApp my husband was using, it was easy to set it up. And before I knew it, all his old messages popped up as soon as I reconnected the WhatsApp with my chip. Tima, I just couldn't believe my eyes. Not knowing my mother, who gave birth to me, was all along dating my husband before we got married and didn't want us to have kids because she claims it will make my husband's attention shift from me to her. Jesus, what an abomination. I was just shaking. So I decided to wait when my husband comes, then I check his phone to see if they are still dating after we got married. Tima? Oh, and behold, the messages I saw was just too much for me. My mom was still sleeping with my husband. I saw naked pictures of her in their chat and praying that I die so she takes my place. Hey, my own mother, Tima, as at now, I'm talking to you, I want to end my life. My mom had me when she was only 20 years now. And now she's 50 years, but looks very young. I'm shaking as I type, please. What do I do? Let me read the last bit again. It's very important to me. So the girl says, I was just shaking. So I decided to wait when my husband comes. Then I check his phone to see if they are still dating after we got married. Tima, lo and behold, the messages I saw was just too much. My mom was still sleeping with my husband. I saw naked pictures of her in their chat and praying that I die so she takes my place. Hey, my own mother, Tima. As at now I'm talking to you, I want to end my life. My mom had me when she was only 20 years. And now she's 50 years, but looks very young. I'm shaking as I type. Please, what do I do?
All right, another very tragic story again today. We'll be analyzing this story in the coming days. Let me go straight to the discussion of today. Like I said, we're discussing different protocols on relationship and marriage. And the reason for having this conversation basically is to help us make an informed decision. And you know, this is an area of our life that we don't really take so seriously. Not much talk is done about it. We've been talking about this now for, this is the 7th edition of this program, 7th edition. And we are not yet halfway through. We're just about halfway through, and we have had the 7th edition. And that just tells you a lot about what we really need to know, because look, we are living in a more complex society, either we like it or not. We are living in a more complex society, whether we like it or not. The society our parents live in is different from what we live in. So many things have changed, hence the need for us to ensure we have the right knowledge to be able to help us make decisions in such a way that we can live a blissful life. We can live a blissful life. The youth of the generation are faced with great challenges of choosing life partner. Many have followed practices, not principles, and this has led to a situation where we have a high rate of separation and divorce, even within a short time after marriage, and even paternity fraud. So the goal of this program is to help everyone that will be part of it to get it right in these very critical areas of their lives. You will learn some uncommon ideas about marriage in this series, but please note that these are based on research, and it will help you to align with the current reality of our times. So listen with open mind. You can go back to check some of the thoughts that we have shared in order to see if those things were so. So I will start today's session, Protocol 5, and I'll be focusing a lot on attraction today. Let me start today's session by saying that your wife can be older than you. I know that's a very big one for many men to swallow. Your wife can be older than you. I have a friend or a brother actually on campus who actually married. The lady is, the brother will be 40 next year. 40 next year, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's 1983. And the wife is already 40. The wife is already 40, if I'm not mistaken. And there are people that do that. Coach Charlie also confirmed that. I'm sure you know Coach Charlie. Coach Charlie is a billionaire in Nigeria into automobiles. And he also confessed the fact that his wife is older than him. So really, it's not an issue, because relationship and marriage is for mature people living together. The guy is older, the lady is older. If you can't handle it, that's fine, but it's not really a problem, even though I've recommended in the past, recommendation, not a rule, that is wiser that the gap between both of you are no more than 6 years. 6 years. And I explained why at that time. But the fact that I said the gap is no more than 6 years means it can be the male that is older, it can be the wife or the female that is older. Because marriage is meant for mature people living together. As you search for partner, do not use faith for beauty. You must be attracted to the person, because attraction is the beginning of love, even though it's also the beginning of lust. Even though it's also the beginning of lust. Now, when I say attraction and beauty, please note, the way beauty has been defined for us is based on what we watch in movies, based on what you work in Hollywood. Everybody is beautiful in their own right. It all depends on your own definition of beauty. And because of the movies we watch that define some kind of features as beauty, it makes people to believe that is what makes someone beautiful. Now, the attraction might not come immediately. It might come later as you are dating or you are in courtship, but do not use faith for that necessary feeling and attraction. When God is speaking to you, whether God is speaking to you or not, you must be physically attracted to whom you are planning to get married to. There must be attraction. There must be attraction. There must be attraction. And don't use faith for it. Do not marry someone that is not attracted to you or you do not have feeling for just because you believe God said. Remember, we see in part and prophesy in part. So you can make mistake even when you say God said. I don't believe God will lead you to someone that you do not have attraction for. If that happens, most likely you are hearing yourself. The reason why some men cheat is because they do not like their wife, even though they love their wife. What's the difference? Love is responsibility. Love is responsibility. Love is responsibility. Because they love their wife, they will meet the need of their wife. They will even cheat without letting their wife know about it because they respect their wife and love their wife. But they don't like their wife. They are not physically attracted to their wife. But because they do not like her enough to be with her in terms of intimacy, they go outside. They go outside, unfortunately. And for those that have the fear of God that will not go outside, they regret ever marrying. They regret ever marrying. Love is dutiful. Love is dutiful, and like is feeling and is sensitive. Love is dutiful, like is feeling sensitive. It's about feeling. So you can love your wife without liking her. If you want to know what love is, go to 1 Corinthians 13. It talks about love on different levels. It talks about love on different levels. It talks about love on different levels. You will see there that love is more than feeling. Love is duty. The manifestation of romance is seen in situations where there is likeness and the absence of romance is due to likeness. This is the situation with so many born-again Christians today who marry the person they don't like because they believe God said. They marry people they don't like because they believe God said. So they love their wife enough to provide for her need, but really they don't like her. So they secretly admire other ladies outside or other men outside. It is liking that makes you spend time with each other. You can call that again connection, attraction. Make you spend time with each other and gist with each other and throw banter at each other. It should be such that when you wake up in the morning, you like the person you are seeing by your side. When she comes from bedroom, undress herself, you like what you see. Or when it touches you, it unlocks something in you and wanting to have a meet with your wife or with your husband. So you can't say that even though I don't feel anything for her, but God has spoken to me and let the will of God be done. That is not true. God has not spoken to you. Anyone that is planning to marry must be, anyone you are planning to marry must be beautiful to you. And that might not mean beauty to someone else. Someone said beauty is in the eye of the beholder. You'll be shocked what some people are looking for. And talking about attraction and beauty, you must go beyond the physical into inside. What is it about this lady that attracts you? What is it about this guy that attracts you? It must be beyond physical. where we are not sidelining the physical, but it must go beyond it. And the reason is this. If the only thing that attracts you or that interests you about this lady is the physical features, about this guy is the physical feature, what if he has an accident? What if he becomes sick? What if something happened, like ladies give birth and the shape change? What happened after that? If the only thing that attracts you is the physical feature, you'll be in trouble. If anything happened to that physical features, and by the way, it will fade. By the time she's in her 40s and 50s and 60s, it will fade. It's called fading energy. It's called old age. When she gets to the departure lounge of life, ready to take the flight, she will not look like the way she used to look again. He will not look like the way he used to look again. Then something else must be attracting you at that time. Something else. So beyond the physical feature, there must be something else inside that attracts you, that you appreciate about this guy, that you appreciate about. So basically, I'm saying tonight, you cannot afford to marry someone you're not attracted to. You cannot afford to marry someone you don't have connection. Don't hide under God said. God is not a wicked God. He won't lead you to someone you don't have any feeling for. And like I said, this feeling can develop for those that do dating, maybe during dating, for those that do courtship, maybe during courtship. But somehow it must, because eventually you tie the knot. Why? Because it is necessary. It is necessary. It is very, very, very necessary. You know why? That is what will keep you in the marriage. You should be glad you make that decision. You should be happy seeing her, seeing him. You should be able to rest on the arm of each other and not feel bored, and be able to gist and discuss and be a friend. You know why this is important? There are people I know who are married who really are not friends. They don't really like themselves. They still exhibit their regular responsibility of love to each other, but there's no connection. They can't sit down and gist for 30 minutes. They can't, gossip. When I mean gossip, not talking about people just discussing issue about what happened at work, I think just gisting generally and feeling connected in that conversation. This is someone you are going to live. If you are 25 now, and God help you to live to 75, 50 years of your life might be invested in that relationship. If you are 30 now, and God help you to live to 80, 50 life of your life. If you are 35 now, and God help you to live to 75, 40 years of your life is going to be invested in that relationship. Do you want to take a decision and live with such a person you really don't have any connection with for the rest of your life? And I said, that thing must be intangible, because when she is now old, when he is now old, the face is wrinkled, the body is wrinkled, the skin is old, everything is sagging, you still love her, you still love him. Because what you saw at the beginning is much, much more than the physical features. It is important to state that nobody is ugly. Nobody is ugly. To you, it might be ugly. To someone else, he is not, no matter the way you think. That thing you don't like about that person is what someone said. You see the way you see the way the nose is. You see how the tongue is. You see the way the mouth is on one side. That's why I like him. That's why I like her. You will be shocked. You will be shocked. What some people like in others, you'll be shocked. Everybody has a sense of beauty. But the challenge is that many of us have been conditioned to accept a set of traits as beauty. We have been conditioned to accept a set of traits as beauty. And that set of traits as beauty that we have been conditioned to accept is what is influencing us saying, this is more beautiful, this is less beautiful. Some times ago, I was in the UK. I met a lady from the Caribbean. I went for a meeting in an office in London, and I met a lady from the Caribbean. When she got to know that I'm from Nigeria, she got talking with me and she said, why is it that Nigerian men like fair women? He said, she entered a particular shop. She came to Nigeria. She went for a wedding in the East with a friend of ours. And she came to Nigeria and she was in the eastern part of Nigeria. And she said, because she's fair, A lot of men were approaching her. And then she goes to shop, cosmetic shop, and most of the cream there are cream that will help people to bleach their skin. And he said, why is it that Nigerian women like bleaching and that Nigerian men like fair women? Interesting question she was asking. I was just laughing because she was worried about the fact that many are not proud of their color. And someone said, a man that is not proud of his color is not fit to live. She's just concerned about that. Now, why is it? Because we've been conditioned. If it's not fair, she's not beautiful. If it's not dark, tall, broad-chested, six-pack, muscular, he's not handsome. In fact, a lady told me, there was a time we're discussing in the office, and I was shocked when most lady in my office told me that they can't marry a brief man. By brief, I'm not talking about short man. I'm talking about someone of average height. No, they don't. They say they can't marry a short man. That they don't. Oh my God. They can't marry a short man. That they don't marry someone that they want someone taller than them. And it was a big deal for the ladies. I mean, it was a big deal. In fact, there was a story I heard of a lady. This lady was married to a guy. He was to be married to another. He was to marry to a guy. Now, he has an ex who was very handsome to him, handsome, but he has to break up because the guy does not have money. He now marry another guy that is very rich, but he feels the guy is not handsome. Now, he said he doesn't want to give birth to an ugly child. Guess what? This is strange to me, but it happened. This lady said he doesn't want to give birth to an ugly child. Do you know what this lady was doing? This lady was using pill. This lady was using pill. This lady was using pill for her husband. Anytime she meets her husband, she will use pill. She will use pill. She will use pill. And they were going from hospital to hospital. Doctor confirmed they are both okay. This lady would use pill. When she was ready to get married, to give birth, she chatted her ex, and that one was available. She would meet with her ex in the hotel and sleep with him. She had 2 kids with her ex. Because her ex is handsome. She wants beautiful babies. Oh my God. I've said it several times in this program since we started. You must define what you are looking for in marriage. If you don't define it, and if your definition is wrong, you'll be in trouble. If you are married because of children, what if you have delay in childbearing? If you are marrying because you need someone that will cook for you, what if this lady is not able to cook as good, as much as you want, or she can't even cook at all? In fact, if your goal for marrying is because someone wants to cook for you, you don't need a wife, you need a cook. If you are married because you need someone to take care of your baby, you don't need a wife, you need a house help or a nanny. If you are married because you need a man to pay your bill, you don't need a husband, you need an ATM machine. Look, if you don't define correctly the reason why you're getting married, it will be a big deal. This lady wants to get married. She's particular about the nature of the baby, and she will go and take pills for her husband because she doesn't want to give birth to, in quote, ugly baby. Ugly baby. This is how important this is. Ugly baby. It is important for you to know that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. We have been conditioned to see some set of traits as a mark of beauty. This conditioning is done through movies, through beauty pageants. And this acceptance of beauty presented to you is what makes you to have feeling in you towards a particular kind of guy or a particular kind of lady. That means if you condition your mind to accept another trait as beauty, you will begin to have feeling towards that new trait. This explains the reason why some men like ladies that are endowed, both in front and at the back, and that are very fair. Those that are endowed both in front and at the back and very fair. Whereas some feel that is too much. They don't like it. They don't like it. You'll be shocked. Some men don't like it. Some men believe black is beautiful. This explains the reason why some ladies prefer tall, dark, muscular. But some prefer an average size guy, less muscular. In fact, some will say the muscles scare them. They don't want the muscular. Different stroke for different folk. Some men love fair ladies because of colonization. Colonization makes you think that black is bad and that the fair one are the beautiful one. But some men think black is beautiful. So it is important for you to know that your thinking about a person control how you feel about that person. And that is what ultimately creates that connection. You need to condition your mind to go beyond physical look and begin to look at the intangible quality in people that makes them become attractive to you. Intangible quality in people that make them become attractive to you. Intangible quality in people. You must condition your mind. Look, when you buy Coke, you don't buy the container. In fact, in those days that we used to use glass bottle for Coke, the glass bottle, they will put it liquid content only. Why? Because they're not selling the container to you. When you get married, you're not marrying the container, you're marrying the content. The container will become damaged, so it will become old, wrinkled. You are marrying the content. The attraction you have, the likeness you have, must go beyond the physical. It must be seen mainly in the content. 70% content, 30% external. 70% content, 30% external. 70% content, 30% container. 70% content, 30% container. You need to condition your mind to go beyond the physical and look for intangible quality in people that makes you become attractive to them. Let me give you an example. For me, for example, when I met my wife for the first time, you know what attracted me to her? Her brilliance. I went to a male school. I've not seen a lady solve mathematics before. What attracted me to her? The way she was solving mathematics was fascinating to me because I've not seen it before. Her intelligence was the major attraction beyond every other thing. You must find that intangible thing that's attracting you. And this is so important. Whatever attracts you to someone, if it is physical, it will fade away because everything physical is subject to change. Why we look at the things which are not seen? Why we look not at the things which are seen, but the things which are not seen? For the things that are seen are temporal, and the things that are not seen are eternal. The things that are not seen are eternal. The things that are seen are temporal. The things that are not seen are eternal. What are you seeing? Please know that physical attraction, though important, is overrated. In my opinion, I think it should be 30%. In my opinion, I think it should be 30%. In my opinion, I think it should be 30%. In my opinion. Some people can give it more weight, but I will give it 30%. I feel the inner beauty, that inner quality should be rated higher than the physical quality because everything physical is subject to change. Whatever physical feature you like today will change, my brother. It will change, my sister. Let what is driving you, what you like about this person as you see him or her, be something beyond the physical. Also note that you might not see those features that make the person attractive until you begin to spend time together, like in courtship, for example, either during courtship or dating. This basically means that the attraction can be developed over time. Therefore, try as much as possible to get those proposing to you, to give those proposing to you a chance. Give them a chance, unless there are fundamental issues that will make you not to even consider it at all. Like, for example, you believe in Christ, you don't believe in Christ. You believe in God, you don't believe in God. As in some fundamental issues. But as much as possible as a lady, give everyone a chance, unless there are fundamental issues. to see if that likeness can be developed, if it wasn't there before, if it can be developed. But ensure it is developed. In the conversation, in discussion, there's something else you are seeing about this guy that is beyond the physical. Let the attraction be the connection that is you are able to stay together, gist together, discuss together without getting bored. Please know that connection is different from physical attraction, because physical attraction is based on physical, connection is based on intangible qualities, like I said earlier. Also, let your source of attraction be character. Character. The way he behaves, the conduct of the person. Another sort of attraction can be caring. The way the person cares and show concern about you. Also note that you can condition your mind to believe in the intangible quality. You know, the beauty of human beings, our mind is very elastic. Our mind is very elastic. You can condition your mind to begin to see other beauty, other source of beauty, other important beauty, such that that becomes more important for you. The love of this person, how he loves people, the way he behaves, the character, beyond the physical features. Like I said, I'm not saying you should discount the physical feature totally. No, I'm saying beyond the physical feature, give more weight. Give more weight. Give more weight to the intangible quality. It is important for you to note that another quality you should look out for is that the person you want to marry should have a fear of God, at least to the extent that you do. Don't be looking for someone that is hyper spiritual, but someone that has the fear of God. Now, let me define my concept of what I believe is spirituality. You know, when you say someone is spiritual, I always ask people, when you say someone is spiritual, I'll ask you, explain to a child, what do you mean by someone being spiritual? I don't believe a spiritual person is someone that prays. I don't believe a spiritual person is someone that reads the Bible. In as much as reading the Bible and praying and singing and worshiping are very good and important for you, if you're a believer, if you are a believer, they are good for you, but beyond those things, what makes you spiritual? I believe for you to be said to be spiritual, you must have characteristics of spirituality. It is called the fruit of the Spirit. What is fruit? Outcome, result, features, the characteristics of the Spirit, the feature of the Spirit, the outcome of the Spirit, the result of being spiritual, characteristics of the Spirit. So, to be spiritual is to love. To be spiritual is to have joy. To be spiritual is to have peace. To be spiritual is to have gentleness. To be spiritual is to have goodness and faith and long-suffering and meekness. That is what it means to be spiritual. Prayer can make you to be spiritual, but prayer does not denote spirituality. So this person, how spiritual is he? I feel that should be a quality. A spiritual person is cool, calm, and collected, even in the face of challenges. It's not the one that will be so fearful and afraid because of challenges. Why? Because there is an inner peace inside. He's full of joy in spite of issues. Joy. And is loving. And is meek. And is gentle. Marry someone who is submitted to authority. And that means he can be counseled. That means there's an authority figure in their life. There's someone they respect. Ladies, don't marry a guy that does not have an authority figure in his life. When there are issues and you need someone to intervene, if he doesn't have authority figure, if he doesn't have someone you respect, you will have issues. You will have issues. You will have issues. Don't marry someone that doesn't have an authority figure. To some, it might be a mentor. To some, it might be his pastor. To some, it might be his father. Someone in his life that he respects so much, or she respects so much, that their opinion is important. It cannot discount their opinion. That is extremely important. The reason why older ladies find it more difficult to get married is because they still have in their mind the quality they desire in a man when they were 23. The reason why some older ladies find it difficult to get married is because in their mind, they still have some quality they desire in a man when they were 23. What they have forgotten is, if as a 23-year-old girl, you need a man that can take care of you, you can't be 43, 35, and be expecting you're looking for a man that will take care of you. You should be able to take care of yourself already. That means that should be off the table. In as much as you don't want to marry an irresponsible man, but you are able to take care of yourself. So the fact that he's able to take care of you will not be a major feature because you can actually take care of yourself. And after all, is marriage not supposed to be a partnership? That both parties are supposed to contribute to it? Is this supposed to be the man affair alone? I've said it several times here. The Bible did not say a man is the one that should take care of the family. It's a symbiotic relationship. You are both stakeholders. He said, if any does not provide for his household, if any, not if a man, if any does not provide for his household, is what as an infidel. And even there, he was not even talking about a man, he was talking about a widow, providing for widow in the family. And that's what people quote. So why can't you contribute together and be part and work together? So it should be off the table. So those things you have in your head at 20, 21, 22, 23, you cannot be 30, 33, 35, or even 40 and be having that mindset. No, you can't have that. You can't. You should be off the table by now. But unfortunately, that kind of man will not be interested. A man that you dream of at 23 will not be interested in a lady that is in her 40s. No. That means the lady needs to revise her list. As you grow older, you need to revise your list. Your list cannot be the way it used to be when you were in your 20s. If you're in your 30s, your list cannot be the way it was in your 30s. If you're in your 40s, your list cannot be the way it was in your 20s. You have to go back to the basics. He has to go back to the basics. He has to go back to the basics. At 44, you cannot be saying you need a man that can take care of your financial need, because at that age, you should be able to take care of your financial need by yourself. This does not mean you should marry a poor and irresponsible person, but that expectation that he should fund your need should leave your list. Also know that there is no scriptures that say a man must be richer than the wife, or that the man must be the only one to provide for the family. The scripture that many quote to put unnecessary burden on man did not say a man must provide. He said, but if any provide not for his own, especially those of his own farm house, is worse than infidel. If any, never judge a man's character and goodness by what he does for you, but rather judge him by what he does for others, particularly when he does not have interest in you. Particularly when he does not have an interest in them. Let me give you an example. A kind man is not shown by the way he treats you. That's not an evidence that he's kind. The way he treats, if you go out together on a date, for example, how does he treat the security when he's parking? How does he treat the waiter? How does he treat the cleaner in the office? That is more important. Look, you are not a thief. You are not a thief because you stole. You stole because you are a thief. Such that if you never had misfortune of stealing, it doesn't make you less a thief if you are a thief. A guy that is a slapper is a slapper. It doesn't matter the fact that he say, his sister is slapping, he can't slap me. That's not true. If he's slapping his sister, he is a slapper. One day he will slap you. If he's slapping his younger sister, he is a slapper. You are what you are. You can do what you can do. You can do what you can do. You can't do what you cannot do. When you march on a cockroach, blood does not come out. When you march on a cockroach, you know what comes out? Fluid comes out, not the blood. Because blood is not inside the cockroach. Whatever comes out of you when you're under pressure is what you are capable of doing. Those traits you see in that guy is a very angry person. When he's angry, he will hit the table, bah, it will break. What you can do is what you can do. What you can do is what you can do. What you can do is what you can do. In the same level of provocation, what this guy will slap someone for, another guy will pick up his jacket and take a walk and cool off. Rather than slap. Rather than slap. Rather than slap. Don't judge a man by what he does to you. Caring for you, take care of you. No, 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 no. How does he treat others around? How does he treat people in general? What are your observations about this? Now, before we close today, let me talk about what someone called marital jail. Marital jail. A marital jail has been defined as a place that glitters like gold, but stifle your potential and render you less than you are. And render you less than you are. Marital jail. And render you less than you are. It is a place where your expectation does not match your reality. And this creates enormous stress. And you are therefore forced to fake happiness, even though you are at the verge of dying. Marital jail is a place where you surrender your truth to believe what you are not convinced about and has not delivered bliss to you, but is promoted by the people around you. For example, you believe husband and wife are equal, and that is true. But your husband believes husband is superior to the wife. You know, I said before, there are a lot of unbelievers marrying each other. They are both Christian, they are born again, but they are unbelievers because there are fundamental issues about life and about marriage that they don't believe the same thing. If the husband believes the wife is the husband is superior to the wife, and the wife believes both are equal, that's the problem. That's the problem. Because there are some things he will expect you to do. He will talk to you like you are his junior sister. He can even talk down on you. Do things that are against you, that you don't like. And because you don't want people to talk, you don't want to, we are looking at what people will say, you are unable to talk. One, how do you avoid marital jail? One is to locate your universe. Everyone in your locality is not your world because of growth and worldview. So when you are in the wrong environment as a lady, the guy will be saying that you are proud because of the way you are carrying yourself. You are in an environment, the guy is saying you are proud because of the way you are carrying yourself. You know, our environment is so flawed. When you are confident, they say you are proud. When you are confident, you say you are proud. When you are principled, they say you are mean. When you are principled, they say you are mean. When you are loving, they say you are a mugushi. Locate your universe. So if you have grown to become a first world lady, for example, in your thinking, in your worldview, you are a first world lady. You cannot be hanging around a third world man and expect them to be interested in marrying you. You are a first world lady. In your thinking, you are forward thinking, first world lady, but you are among third world men in their thinking. Please know that your vibe must determine your tribe. Your vibe, your vibration must determine your tribe. If you have the vibe of first world, you should not be about people who are in first, third world. Find your match among the people in your own world. For example, what are characteristics of a first world man? A third world man, a typical African man, he believes that it's your duty to cook. He believes that he married you to take care of the kid. He believes that your place is in the kitchen. He believes that you're a baby factory. He doesn't believe you should have your career or you should do your own business. He doesn't believe that you should be up and going and be able to attain the peak of your career. To accept yourself without apology and clarify value. Note that no one is doing you a favor by marrying you. Your self-esteem must be intact. Your self-esteem must be intact. Your self-esteem must be intact before you show up on the marital table. Your self-esteem must be intact. I tell people, look, the reason why there are more women in the world than men is because not everybody will marry. That's the truth. Also, you need to clearly state your current reality so that, as to ensure that your intended partner can stand your true essence. There's no point hiding yourself in order to be able to get married. If you don't like the kitchen, let him know you don't like the kitchen. But you don't mind hiring someone to do that job for you, and you can afford it. As a man, if you can't stand a lady that is not given to personal development, put that on the table and discuss it with your intending partner. Some lady end up marrying someone who are at best should be their mentee and should not be their husband because the person has low self-esteem. Low self-esteem. And because the person has low self-esteem, it will kill their vibes. It will kill their morale. It will kill their career. Also, you need to get mental detoxification, particularly from the rule of marriage you have learned in your environment and from our parents. So lay your card on the table and agree on the culture that both of you want to embrace. Remember, when you marry, you are coming from different culture. You are coming from different culture. You are coming from different culture. There will be culture clash. Both of you must understand that you are coming from different culture, and you must be able to, you decide on the culture you want to build in your family and embrace it. Please know that no marriage is built by hope and assumption. Every marriage is built by strategy and knowledge. The reason we are having so many dysfunctional homes in our world today is because many are building their relationship on hope. They hope it will be good. They hope it will be better. They hope it will work out. They hope and hope and hope and hope. But the Bible says, hope defer, maketh the heart sick. What is creating that sickness of heart? Hope. The same hope is what makes the heart sick. It's what makes the heart sick. So you don't build your relationship on hope. Always remember, you must know the purpose of marriage and define why you marry within that definition of marriage. Why are you married? What do you hope to achieve in this relationship? Why are you married? What do you hope to achieve in this relationship? Why are you getting married? And what do you hope to achieve in this relationship? When you have a bigger reason for getting married, listen to this, listen to this. First of all, if you don't know the purpose of marriage, then you will definitely abuse the institution of marriage. And that will be to the detriment of your family. If you don't know the purpose of marriage, look at the definition someone gave marriage. He said marriage is the relationship, is the coming together of a man and woman from different family or different nation to create a new family or a new nation whose culture will promote the best interest of all and will give our world rest. I love that definition. Man and woman coming together to create a new family, and they will build a culture in that family that will promote the best interest of all in our world, and what they will produce will give our world rest. What they will produce will give our world rest. When you have a bigger reason for getting married, it becomes a lot easier for you to endure and manage other issues and challenges that are not life-threatening that could occur in the marriage. Listen to this. One of the reasons why a lot of marriages break today is that the reason why people get married, they achieve it within a short time. For example, you need kids. If that's when you get married, you can achieve that in 2-3 years. If getting kids is the reason why you get married. If the reason why you get married is to leave the house, you want to leave your parent legally. But because if you leave for some home, if you leave without marrying, not because of work, they won't take it lightly with you. but you want to leave the home, you will achieve that easily. Look, if the reason you are getting married can be achieved in 3, 4, 5 years, I can assure you, after that time, you are tired of the marriage. There's nothing exciting ahead for you to look forward to again. Nothing ahead. But if both of you are building something bigger than you, you have a vision for this family of what you both want to deliver to your world, something that will take your lifetime, a big, audacious goal of what both of you are working together to achieve. Oh my God. No matter the minor, small issues, you can easily overlook it. Why? There's something else driving you. There's something else driving you. There's something else driving you. As long as other issues that are happening in the marriage are not life-threatening. The caveat is it's not life-threatening. The caveat of life-threatening is necessary to emphasize, because even though marriage is a covenant, but please know the covenant of life is more superior to the covenant of marriage. The covenant of life is superior to other covenants. So if your life is threatened in marriage, separation might become necessary. But there are a lot of issues, people call it irreconcilable differences. They don't have a vision of the future they want to build together. They don't have it. That's why someone recommends you should have a family vision. What do you want to create in this family? People just get married, there's no vision, nothing they are trying to achieve. Everything is just so plastic. I say there's nothing, there's no intentionality in terms of what we really want to build together. That, I'm a Christian. For those that are not Christian here, I like quoting the scriptures. The scripture says that Jesus Christ, for the hope that was set before him, endured the cross. The only reason he could endure the cross is because there's something set ahead of him. If there's nothing set ahead of you, you won't be able to endure. Someone said, when you know why, you can bear anyhow. When you don't know why, you cannot bear anyhow. What is it that you want to achieve in that relationship? What is it? If you are dating someone today, can you please ask him or her, why do you want to get married to me? You will be shocked that this person has never thought of that question. He doesn't have an answer. If you're in a relationship, ask the person, why do you want to get married to me? You'll be shocked. Many don't have an answer. They just get married because it's time to get married. Also know that any reason you are stating for getting married that is not going to take a lifetime to achieve is not going to make your marriage last. Anything that's making you to get married, but it's not something that will take a lifetime to achieve, like a family vision, that marriage cannot last. The marriage will last when there is a life goal and vision you want to achieve, a family vision, something big and great that both of you are trying to build together. If that reason is about improving other person, it's not about improving other person, it's about yourself to create a solution that is critical for the society. If it's not about that, if it's not about people, it's not about creating a solution that will be of benefit to the world. If it's about me and myself and I'm sorry, that marriage might not last. Please note that if the reason for getting married is what can be achieved in 1 year, then the marriage might be on its way to crash after 1 year. For example, if the wife is getting married because he needs a baby, then she will become disinterested in marriage as soon as the baby arrives, because all she wanted is baby. Have you wondered why a lot of celebrities today are baby mamas? They don't want to get married. They need a baby. They need a baby. Immediately the baby comes, they're not interested in the guy again. Something happened, they separate, they divorce. They are not really interested in the man. They're interested in the baby. They cherish the baby. They love the baby. They take care of the baby. Is like their life. Because that's really what they want. They don't need a man. Because they can take care of themselves. They don't think so. Because what they are looking for is baby. When the baby comes, they will begin to see reason why they can't live with the guy or the lady. They will say they have irreconcilable differences. So the mission or the purpose of going into the marriage has been accomplished. So what am I still waiting for? If a man marry a lady because he needs money, He doesn't need a husband. He needs a sponsor. If a man marry a lady because he needs a sponsor, as soon as he get the money from the lady, there are men like this who are looking to start a business. They don't like the lady. They marry not because they have a great value or what they want to achieve. They marry the lady because of her money. Immediately the lady funds them and they have a thriving business, they begin to have irreconcilable differences. They begin to have irreconcilable differences. The reason why they begin to have irreconcilable differences is because the guy did not marry the lady because he loved the lady. He married the lady. His purpose is to get money from her. Immediately, he becomes established with good financial muscle. He will become disinterested in that marriage. This is because the mission and the purpose of going into that relationship has already been achieved. Has already been achieved. Ladies and gentlemen, as we close this evening, and let me hear from you question and answer. Remember, number one, attraction. What's the goal of attraction? Look at the content and give it preference over the container. Don't lock up yourself in marital jail. Be true to yourself and put all the cards on the table before you marry. Ensure that you are not driven by the conditioning of what beauty is in our environment, but driven by the true essence of beauty. Also ensure that the reason for getting married is far, far beyond what can be achieved in a short time. You are coming together to build a life that will be a blessing to the world with a vision that will take a lifetime to accomplish. All right, thank you very much, everyone, this evening. Let me hear from you. If you are just joining us, if this is the first time you are joining us, we have a WhatsApp group where you can get the link to this program every week. We have a WhatsApp group where you can get links to this program every week. I will drop the link to join the WhatsApp group. I will drop it on the Zoom chat now. You can click on that link to be able to join the WhatsApp group. If you are on that WhatsApp group every week, you get the link to this program. I've dropped the link. You can click on it to join the WhatsApp group. All right, let me take your question and what you have learned. Your question and what you have learned. Number one, who is on? Okay, Nika is first on my list. Nika, good evening. How are you? Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Can you hear me? Okay, I think Nika is busy. Amos, good evening. Amos, good evening. Can you hear me? What did you learn today?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
So what I've learned today basically from the subject of beauty, right? So beauty is in the eyes of the beholder.
Yeah.
What you define as beauty may be different from what someone else defines as beauty.
Yeah.
So our standard of beauty in respect to marriage should not just be physical looks and attraction. It should go beyond that if we are going to have a lasting and successful marriage.
Yeah.
It should be an inner beauty, beauty that is reflected in terms of the person's character,
yeah,
and disposition. Beauty that is reflected in the person's reflection of the fruit of the spirit of love, joy, peace, long suffering, all those things, right? Those are the true beauty of an individual, of a Christian especially, right? So that's what should drive us and inform our decisions, not just what we see, because what we see doesn't last, right? It won't last forever. It's going to fade away, and when it fades away, if we base all our everything on that, then we are going to find ourselves in a serious trouble or at a loss. So thank you very much. That's just what I'm going to contribute.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Favor, Atasie, Favor, good evening. How are you? What have you learned tonight? Hello, Favor, good evening. Can you hear me? The favored one, good evening. The favored one.
Hello, sir. Good evening, sir.
Okay, Atasie,
good evening, sir.
Go ahead. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Hello?
I can hear you. Good evening. Go ahead.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
This session. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I learned a lot today. I'll just leave. Okay, today I learned that attraction is not really like the main thing, but it's not equally unimportant, but at the same time, it should not be like the only object, the only like also
Favor,
like,
I think you should go out and come in again. The line is very bad. We can't hear you. Go out and come in again. Favor, I think you should go out and come in again. Your line is very bad. Go out and come in again and see if it will be better. I can't hear you at all. The favored one, good evening. How are you? Hello, the favored one. Okay, the favored one is busy. Esther, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. How are you? What did you learn tonight?
Okay, sir. I actually learned some things in the few minutes I joined. Firstly, I learned that one should have a connection with maybe someone's partner or maybe someone that one has in mind to be in relationship with. And that connection should not be based on physical attraction. But the connection should be on inner beauty, because that is the only thing that can last forever, because physical attraction is temporal. And I also learned that one should not be in a relationship with a man that does not have a head, or somebody that he fears. Somebody like maybe like a mentor to him, something like that. Then I also learned that I think those are the two things I really pinpoint. Then I also learned that you said something about maybe if a lady is of age, maybe aged. So if the lady should not put all the things, maybe the person they prioritize when she was in her 20s, that the person should do a check.
Yes.
On that, try to maybe mellow down and try to cut some things down, because she cannot be saying maybe all what she wanted when she was all what she wants now when she was in her 20s. So what she will get at this present time because of age. And at the same time, one should not be in relationship with a man that have a low self-esteem. Maybe if someone is maybe ahead of that person, or maybe maybe it may be academic, it maybe on some other aspects that one should not, because we'll be thinking differently. So I think
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. The favored one, are you available now? The favored one. Okay. Yes, go ahead.
I think it will be a little noisy. It's a little noisy where I am.
Okay, no problem. No problem.
I don't know if you can hear me.
I can hear you, yes.
Okay, so I learned tonight. I actually learned, one of the things I learned is the fact that just like you had mentioned, that in time past, people generally have different ideas as to what it is they expect from a marriage. So, like for instance, I probably will give myself as an example. At a particular stage in my life, my thoughts generally was the fact that, when you get to the stage, you go to the university, you come out of school, you probably start working or you get a job, then you're expected to settle down. Like looking at having a particular club or belief where people have already set standards and said, okay, in this particular time you're supposed to be doing this. So without an idea or an understanding of whether at that point in time the person is right for me, or whether I actually connect with that person, those things come to play then. And one of the reasons then was basically the fact that in those times, they will always say, okay, depending on the church you actually worship, they might say, oh, you don't really need to pause in a particular manner to get to know the person. And then, oh, you just be friends. The rule then was just make friends first. And so the friendship was on a surface where discussions were not happening, where intimate discussions or real life situations were not discussed before the marriage. Again, when it comes to marriage classes, like I'm giving myself as an example. So when it comes to marriage classes, for instance, there was no class per se because the church he was attending was a smaller church, and then the church is actually they don't organize any marriage classes around it. So it's just like two very naive people coming into something that is way beyond them. So I like the fact that you mentioned the aspect around, yes, even though you're looking at the content, you also appreciate the person. At least there should be an attraction. It's not like when the person gets into it, the person is like, okay, I'm having to manage this. Well, the person just saying, okay, I did it by faith. This was God. And so whatever it is, whether I don't feel attracted to the person or not, I just want to believe God. Because at the end of the day, the person is going to be living with that person, seeing that person every morning, and working generally with that person. So a lot of things were actually left out. And I also think from what you mentioned around when the person has a lot of expectations, has a leap. And then when he gets older, even aside the financial things, the person would have been exposed to a whole lot of other things about life, like say tolerance. Most young people today are not tolerant. They know of until they probably advance. So in most cases, when they're younger, they probably will just think to themselves, what is it? Why do you say this? But when you look at probably older marriages, or when you look at people who are older, then you can now tell that they actually have operate differently or work differently with their spouses. So the expectations at an older age is actually different. And maybe the listing will probably have changed to an extent, because in this case, the person is now living a life that's different from what he or she was living when they were much younger. I have a question to ask.
Okay. What's the question?
My question is, you mentioned something around having somebody who would be speaking to the person. So like maybe like a mentor or something like that, or an authority figure. So what if the authority figure is actually negative?
Then the person that chose that authority figure, something is wrong. Where is it negative? I mean, if you are choosing a mentor, everybody should have a mentor in his life. Everybody should have a mentor. If you should have a mentor, there must be someone in your life that advises you, that you can talk to about your career, about your life, about your, and it can be more than one, maybe one for marriage, one for business, one for career. You just must have a mentor. So, and you must choose someone that you've seen something in his life that you want to emulate, that you love. So if you are saying it's negative, then maybe something is wrong with what the person is choosing. But you should have a mentor, and it should be someone that already have what you need, and then you are able to, you want to emulate that, and you need to learn from them. I don't know if I'm making sense to you.
Okay, yes, sir. But what I'm trying to say, if for instance, the female now, the lady, for instance, sees a man and sees that the man has a mentor, but in the mentorship, somebody who is probably who has an authority will have an influence.
Put your mouth close to the mic. Your mouth is far away. I can't hear you.
Okay. Is it better now, sir?
A bit better, yes.
Okay, so somebody who has an authority over somebody can have an influence. So the influence must be.
You are muted.
Sorry. Okay. Sorry about that.
Go ahead.
Somebody has an influence or authority over someone.
Yes.
Would actually be able to influence the person either positively or negatively to their own, maybe to an extent, to his or her
So that's why it's to be a mentor. So you should marry, you shouldn't, you should be able to trust the person enough to give you good advice. So negatively for me will not work, because that means you have not chosen the right person. This person must be someone who you can trust. The person, it's not expecting anything from you. So he will tell you the truth without biting an eyelid. He doesn't care if you, he's not expecting favor from you. So he's free to talk to you in the way you think it should be done. So when you not say he will advise, that means the person is probably looking for something, or he has a hidden agenda that's making him to come on the negative side. But that would be a wrong person to choose as an authority figure in your life. And it happens. You are very correct. Some people do that, which is why I say you need to be careful whoever you want to put as authority over your life. It must be someone that have achieved something, someone that is secure in himself. It's not insecure. It's not someone that needs something from you, but someone that you need something from, who will tell you the truth at any point in time without really caring how you feel about it, because he wants you to do what is right. I don't know if I've helped Favor.
Yes, sir. But what if it's on the other part? How does the person identify on the other part that person's authority is somebody who is influencing him or her?
Then he needs to drop it. If you notice the person have a hidden agenda, you can't continue that kind of. You need to stop. You are the one that chose the person, so you should stop. You should disengage as much as possible from that person. If you know, if I told you to take me to this road, I know you are taking me the other way. I mean, it will be unwise for me to be following you, because I can see clearly that you don't even know the road enough for me to say I want to submit myself to you, for me to hear from you and learn from you. So I feel whoever is choosing that person should be free also to be able to say, look, I don't think this person can help me. Let me look for someone else. I don't know if that helps.
Yes, that helps. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
All right. Eunice Julius, good evening. How are you? Eunice Julius. Hello, Eunice. Can you hear me? Okay. Mojisola, good evening. How are you? Okay, Eunice, go ahead. Moji, hold on for Eunice. Eunice, go ahead.
Okay.
Hello, Eunice. Can you hear me? Okay, I think Eunice is having an issue. Moji, go ahead, please.
Okay, good evening, everybody.
Yeah, good evening.
Okay, so what I learned from today's session, okay, from where I joined, I joined from that point that you were talking about prioritizing the container over the content. So you said that when you're considering physical attributes and inward attributes, physical attributes should take 30% of your decision process, while the inward attributes should be like 70% of it. And then yeah, physical attributes fades. They fade, but then character and the person's attitude and all last a lifetime. You also talked about the authority figure, that that person that the person respects, the spouse or the partner respects, that he cannot just easily discount their opinions like that. And also he said that on relationship, marriage, it is not parasitic, it's symbiotic. So each partner is like a default stakeholder in the relationship. So one of them cannot be an adult and have the mindset of my partner is supposed to take care of me and this and that. So as an adult, you should have that mindset that I am my own person, and then I should be able to take care of myself. The Bible did not say that only the man should provide.
Yeah.
And then you also said the character of someone can be known from how the person treats his subordinate.
Yeah.
Not how he treats his superior or how he treats his equals. So it's how he treats the subordinate that you know how this person really is. That is the person is not a thief cause so, but it's because he's not it's not a thief because he stole, but he stole because he's a thief. So if someone does not treat you this way, but he treats other people this way, and then you are there saying that, oh, maybe because I'm special or this, but in the long run, he might eventually behave that same way to you because it is part of his or her personality.
Yes.
And then you described marital jail as a place that glitters like gold, but then it stifles one's potential and renders the person less than he or she is. You spoke about marrying someone who reasons like they do, not someone that believes in feminism, marrying someone that lives and breeds patriarchy. It's like two opposite opinions clashing. They surely have
Yeah.
issues as well. He spoke about a third world man, someone that believes like the wife is a baby factory. Should always do the cooking. Should not think of career and all. If that kind of person gets involved with someone that is probably has a goal for herself in the future, like career wise and all, they will surely have issues and all. And then not marrying someone by like not doing someone a favor by marrying them
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that way it's like your
The line, the line is bad. I can't hear you again.
okay, is it better now?
Yes, it's better.
Okay, if the reason one is getting married can be achieved in 3 to 5 years, then at a point, after that duration, there's bound to be issues. So,
Yeah.
so they should like have a bigger plan, a bigger reason why they want to be together. So in conclusion, it said that one key factor has to be attraction between them. If they say that yes, this is will of God, God's will, this is what God said, but then there's no attraction between them, it's definitely not the will of God because God is not that cruel. So that's what I
Thank
learned.
you. Thank you. Chinedu, good evening. How are you?
Fine.
Yeah,
Can you hear me?
good evening. What have you learned tonight?
All right. Thank you very much for today's seminar. I was really blessed. Okay, let me summarize. The first thing I learned was that those things we can see, most things we can see are temporal, while most things that we cannot see are internal.
Yes.
What you meant by that was that in trying to look out for the right person, or you're in a relationship, you also need to, apart from the physical appearance, you also need to look at the intangible qualities. These intangible qualities could be the way the person conducts himself, especially in public places, the character of the person, how caring the person is, and also fear of God. All these things matter a lot. Then you also mentioned something. We should try to ask our partner this vital question. Why do you want to get married to me? You will be surprised that many people have the wrong reason for getting married.
Yeah.
That if those things you want, the reason why you want to get married can be achieved in 3 to 5 years, then there should be a response because this is someone you are going to spend the rest of your life with. If you are 30 now and you are meant to be 80 years, that means you're going to be spending 50 solid years with this person. So we have to be very, very careful in distinguishing connection and physical attraction. Very, very important. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. On my iPhone. Good evening. How are you? On my iPhone. Are you there? Okay, Oma is not there. Sam Show Global. Sam Show Global. Samuel, how are you?
Hello, good evening,
Sir.
Good evening. How are you?
Hello, sir. Good evening, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I'm very well, sir. Thank you.
Go
All right.
ahead.
For me,
Yes.
I personally love listening to like call it, I personally love listening to talks, right? That basically changes my mindset and my mind in general. Now you spoke about a family having vision that is bigger than them.
Yeah.
It got me thinking. I'm asking myself, the girl I like that I want to marry, why do I want to get married to her? I mean, yes, personally, what attracted me to her, she's beautiful and all that, but she's also intelligent. But from what you said, I think that marriage is beyond the physical,
Yeah.
right? What I can see. Because they are basically temporal, pardon me. I must look at the inner quality, the character, how the person behaves under pressure, what the person has to offer, and what you can build together that is bigger than us. So I joined the meeting late actually, but I just believe that from what I've learned, that's changed my mindset on how I look at marriage. Marriage is not just about I want to have children, I need someone in the house and all of those things. I'm basically getting married for a purpose because I have my world to change.
Thank you. Thank you. Oma, go ahead now. You can unmute yourself. I saw you unmute yourself before. Yeah.
Okay, good evening, sir.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. My name is Choma.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is actually my first time joining.
Yes, I dropped the link. I dropped
on
the
time,
link.
but
I dropped the link. You can join the WhatsApp group so you know when the link is dropped.
okay, because I kind of actually have a lot of questions, not actually one.
Please go ahead with your question, please. Go ahead. Feel free.
Okay, so generally I kind of have question by, it's more or less like, okay, the person I'm in a relationship with, my spiritual life is more stable than his.
Okay.
Okay, and it's not like we haven't defined the relationship. We've defined the relationship. We know what we want. But then I kind of feel like I need, like, I'm better, like I need more than what I have presently.
In
So
terms
I
of,
kind of don't know
what?
if I should
When
just,
you say I need more, in terms of what?
okay, he's actually nice, he's good, but I just have this feeling that I'm supposed to get more than this.
In
Like
terms
more
of
than what
what?
I'm getting in the relationship.
Okay, what you are getting the relationship, okay?
Yes, what I'm getting in the relationship.
Okay.
Like I need more than that. Yeah. So it got me thinking. I'm still thinking about it. Then the aspect of where you said how what we really were. Okay, we defined the relation, but we didn't really define it like the in-depth of what we actually need. It was more or less like we just clicked on the surface. Yeah, we want to get married, have children, you are this and you are that. So I'm thinking of this, and then I intend to talk it through with him. So I will just try and join the class. If I have any more questions, I'll just reach out to you so we can talk more about that.
Please do. Please do. But in terms of the expectation you said, we might need to discuss one-on-one for me to hear those expectations in specifics. Because one of the challenges of relationship is unrealistic expectation. Unrealistic expectation is one of the major issues that people might, apart from communication, which is number one that break relationship and marriage in particular, number one, relationship, communication, number two, sex, number three, money, number four, third party, and lastly, number five is unrealistic expectation. So I want to know that expectation, but might not be able to discuss it here. I was the one that I will drop the link again here. If you join, you will see my number. I've just dropped the link again. So if you join the WhatsApp group, you will see my number and you can chat me and we can have the conversation so that let me know exactly what those expectations are and then we can discuss it together.
Okay. All right, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
All right. Thank you very much. Victoria, good evening. How are you? Victoria, are you there tonight? Or you are not with us? Okay, it's like Victoria is not here tonight. Too. Hello, Victoria. Okay. I think your network is
Can
bad.
anyone hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, all right. Um, Thank you very much, sir, for another exciting session. Um, I mean, we've summarized everything, but what was striking for me though was when you spoke about attraction and
Okay.
how it is very important. I mean, it's as much as they say that the content is what matters and everything, but you're still gonna live in that container.
Yes.
So,
Yes. Yes. That's true.
yeah. Yeah, so attraction is very vital. And then when you made mention of a question like asking our relationship partners,
Why
why
do
do you
you
want
want
to
to marry
marry
me?
me? It got me laughing actually, because that was a question I actually asked someone, and
Okay.
first when I asked it was
And what was the response?
I, at first. Okay, personally, I don't even know why I asked that question. The thing just dropped on my mind. So it was something I asked randomly.
Okay.
And then he was shocked. Like he at that point, like, he didn't even have an answer to give for
Yes.
it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why
Because it was like, in fact, he even returned it with a question.
are you asking?
No. You did a question of why am I a lady or something like that.
Okay.
Like he couldn't give a direct answer
Answer.
to it. So I was like, okay, so I'm actually looking out to get that answer itself, because I mean it's very, very important and crucial that these things are very much defined. So and then another thing I learned was in the area of, you said something about having to um identify our tribe with the vibe that we get or the vibe
Yes.
that we have. Yeah, because most times, just like you said, in the society, when you've clearly defined something for yourself, a kind of conduct you want to be able, or way you want to be seen as, and then you figure that it's not really fitting in with what you're seeing around, the environment around, so it just makes it seem so different. And to a large extent, sometimes I used to get confused. Should I adjust myself to the environment, or should I maintain my stand? You get that kind of thing. So sometimes it can be quite contradictory. And then, yeah, thank you for giving insight into that. I mean, I feel like if you want to be someone and stand for something, then to a large extent, you have to define your identity. So thank you very much, sir. I really enjoyed today's session,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you very much. Samuel, good evening. Hello, Samuel. Can you hear me? Are you there? Samuel, good evening. Samuel. Okay, Victor. Victor, how are you?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for today. Wow, I joined in late, but the little I had was actually a lot, and I'm still even trying to like digest the content, because I don't know, sometimes I wonder that how do you get this information from, because I actually do listen to a number of a relationship coach, quote unquote, and the way your messages come are quite different. I'm wondering that what kind of food or what kind of meal are you eating that are getting all these things from?
Yeah, go ahead.
So sir, yes, sir. So I what I learned is what I learned are actually been echoed by Sam Shu, and I think the last speaker
Okay.
about the reason for getting married,
Yeah.
because many a times what's my disposition to search to even discussions or sessions about like how does this, I try to bring it home and ask myself this same question, because actually when you said it, it came as a real shock to me, because I don't think people really ask that question, and it came as I was like, wow. So they should. It was not. Yeah, of course, it made a lot of sense, but I was like, wow, like they should actually be like a vision there, and there has to be like a vision and a mission of this marriage, because many a times it's almost just like the normal course of life, because people just, when you are young, the is by default, nobody tells you to go to school. You just know that I go to school, you go to primary school, when you are done, go to secondary, when you are done, go to university. It's almost like, and when you're done from university, try to get a job and get married. It's almost like that's how life should operate. But I think many a times, many of us don't, many a times people, it's almost like that is just the normal course of life. And asking that question, I think, is actually very important. And it also brings me back to my question. You said, although you said you address it in coming sessions about like definition,
Yes, so
because
in the next
about like
two,
when you said
in
like,
the
why are
next
we?
two episodes, I would define it. Yes, next two episodes I should do that.
Oh, okay, sir. Because I think you even try to define what like a marriage should be. That it should be the coming together of two people
Yes, yes,
whose culture favors. I think I like that definition too. Like whose culture favors using both parties, and they're trying to add value to their society.
exactly.
And yes, sir. And also, you also talk about we finding that you cannot be a first world man and be hanging around with third world women. I think that was also
Exactly.
a
Exactly.
point. And I always was like, is how easy is it? Because many at times, especially when you are young, you see you focus on many of my contemporaries is far different from many of them. They even believe in. They just believe that once you have money, is all you need to have a successful woman. They don't take any of that thing serious. And sometimes like it's difficult to find people of like mind or people in that A level thinking, because it's almost like, because he's just like someone said that someone will be foolish for wisdom to add value. So many at times it's not easy coming like it's not easy coming across people that are of the first world thinking, because
So
it's
if you are a first world thinking, you will attract first world to yourself over time. If you are, because you'll be discomforted, you'll be uncomfortable in the third world environment in what they discuss. And in your search to be able to get to people that think the way you think, you will find. It's what you are looking for, you'll find as human. You must just be first discontented with look. The way these people are talking and thinking, it doesn't appear they are in this world at all. They seem to be in the stone age, and you want to look for people that are in the real reality we find ourselves right now. So if immediately you become uncomfortable with that and you begin to search, you will find. It's what you are looking for, you find. They are all around, only that, and the technology has made it easier now that even if they are far away, you can find them in Clubhouse, you can find them in Twitter space, you can find them in different places. It might not even be physical, but you will find them if you are looking for them. That I can assure you.
Like good, sir. I like to ask to that, because I think that the idea of like if a first world mindset or thinking, I think it should be something that should be discussed, because what does it mean to be a first world man or a first world husband? Because every day each generation has their like peculiar challenges, and because I feel like at that time that style of I don't know, I don't, of course
It was
I
working.
didn't
That thinking,
this was working, yes.
it worked
So,
because of the way the world was there. The world has moved on now. That's why they are still in the third world, because it was working. But our world has changed so much that it cannot work in today's world. You can't marry a woman and say you have to be at home. That's a third world thinking, and say you can't pursue a career. But in those days, it worked. The lady can stay at home and take care of babies, and that's the only thing he's doing. He's not doing any other thing. But in today's world, it will not work. It will not work. Because most likely the lady have a vision or life or career she wants to pursue, and you are going to have a lot of clash because of that.
True.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. I hope I've called everybody. Is there any other person I've not called today? I think I've called everybody. Omar, you have joined. Omar, you have joined, and I've dropped a message. So you see that I dropped a message in the group. Omar, have you joined?
Yes, I have joined, but I can't see the message you've dropped.
Okay.
I've just
What was the last two digits of your number?
62.
Okay, I just saw you now. Okay. I will drop a message for you now.
Okay, all right, thanks.
All right, thank you very much, everyone. See you next week. We'll be rounding up the protocol next week and move on to, after protocol, we'll discuss purpose. After purpose, we'll discuss preparation. Preparation will be in three phases. Preparation is in 3 phases. Then we'll discuss planning. Purpose, preparation, and planning. After we discuss the last protocol next week. So like I said, it's a 3-month program. So we are going to finish sometimes late September. And we have been discussing about marriage every week, 1 hour. So we pretty much will be spending about 13 hours discussing this issue, because we're going to be spending about 13 weeks discussing it. And that tells you how serious and important this matter is. All right, thank you very much, everyone. See you next week. Remember, if you join late, the session is recorded. The link will be dropped on the WhatsApp group later tonight or tomorrow. It's going to be in my SoundCloud, so you can always listen to it. And if you are joining us for the first time, you can go to this episode number 6. So that means we have done 5 episodes already. Sorry, episode 7. We have done 6 episodes already. Today is episode 7. So you can go and get all the other episodes to be able to listen, so you can really have a full overview of all that we've discussed, to be able to benefit from it. And please remember to invite your friends who also might need this conversation. And please, if you have any personal or private question, feel free to reach out to me. You can chat me on the WhatsApp group. You will see me when I drop messages. So you can easily see my email and my phone number, the WhatsApp group, and be sure I will find time for us to have some conversation around that, so you can be able to take an informed decision. Thank you very much, everyone. See you next week, and have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.